صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. I extend my condolences to the Imam of our time on this eighth night of Moharram, and I extend my condolences to you, dear brothers and sisters, as well. First and foremost, I'd like to make some announcements. There's a Bay Area Ziyara trip which is being arranged. You can contact Brother Hasnan Zaidi for more details if you're interested. Secondly, the Majlis of the night of Ashura will be held at the Mughal restaurant in Hayward. There's no limit on the capacity, but vaccines are still required. And this is Wednesday, August 18th, 2021 at 8 p.m. And the schedule will start with Maghribain and Tabarruk, Salam, speeches, and Matam. The Ashura program will be at Fallon Sports Park in Dublin, starting at 12 p.m. There's no limit to the capacity, and vaccinations are not required because it's open door, outdoor. Today's sponsors are Ali Javed Naqvi, Andalib Naqvi, Abbas and Layla Rashid, and Wael Khansa. So recite Fatiha for the marhumin. The specific names of the marhumin provided are Sayyid Hussein Akbar, Sayyid Muhammad Shafiq, Sayyid Jamil Hassan, Kanis Fatima, Rabab, Sayyid Razi Hassan, Sayyid Ahmad Jam, Abida Khatun, Habiba Khatun, and Taqi Hassan. Mohsen Ali ibn Ghulam Ali Rashid, Rukhsana bint Sher Ali Rashid, Yasmin bint Sher Ali Rashid, Khurshid bint Abdul Hussain, Ehsan ibn Ashraf Ali, Aziz Dosani. Al-Fatihatu ma'a as-salawat. I'd like to recite a poem by Zahra Naqvi called The Night Before Ashura. If I was in Karbala on this night, the last night before the end, I would witness heaven and hell spread out before me. Heaven blocked from Furat, heaven prostrating to God, hell surrounding Furat and forgetting their God. I would witness in the tents of Hussein oil lamps illuminating faces weeping in prayer. I would witness the last Isha Salat of him who rode on the shoulders of the Holy Prophet. I would witness the love in the faces of the companions as they prayed their last behind him. I would witness the shining eagerness of the boy for whom tomorrow's death is sweeter than honey. I would witness the flag bearer with a little girl on his knees. I would notice that his arms are still intact. Tomorrow, Sukaina, your uncle will not be here. They will rip out your earrings and lash you with whips. Stay close to him for as long as you can. I would witness a man bowed with grief and shame, making his way towards heaven and being embraced by one so tender and forgiving that he overlooks the deed that led to this end. From the forgiven, I would witness the steam of hell leaving and a breeze of heaven wafting through. On the last night, the night before the end, if I tread softly through the tents, I would witness dry water bags and children rolling their sandpaper tongues on parched lips, acutely aware of the sound of the gushing of the river water near, and also of the savages blocking the way there. I would witness a mother with no milk to feed the baby whose thirst would at last be quenched by the blood from a spear to his tiny throat. I would witness a woman who's a sister foremost than a mother, preparing her sons for the slaughter tomorrow, when her heart will be wrenched many times over and she'll cry out to the desert as she witnesses her brother fall on the plains of Nainawa, a woman who'd lose it all except her faith, which would be the strength of Karbala. I would witness a man restless with fever who would awaken later to find himself clad in chains, leaving his family lying unburied, slaughtered in the plains. As he drags his feet whipped to Sham, it is the night before the day Zuljana will weep as he returns shamefacedly to the camp, his back bare, with the blood of his master dripping down his flanks. The night before the day the Dhul Fiqar will go back in its sheath, having done its duty yet again. If I was in Karbala on this night, I would hear the sounds caressing the desert. From one side, I'd hear the calls of Al-Atash, Al-Atash, and the murmurs of praises to the Lord, and see the tents glowing with nur. And from the other, I'd hear wicked laughter and swords sharpening on hearts made of stone, and see their wretched tents ablaze in hellfire. It would be the night before the day, when on one side horses will cool their thirst with water, on the other the thirsty household of the Prophet will be slaughtered like no animal before. It's the night before the day the stars and the angels and the cosmos will weep as they witness the final sujood of a body so brutally cloaked in arrows, the forehead could not touch the ground. On this night he prostrates with angels behind, but tomorrow the angels will shield their eyes when his blessed head is butchered with a knife so dull. The heavens will cry out, if I was in Karbala on this night, the night before the end, and this is what lay in sight, surely I'd pour sand on my head and I'd wonder where I'd end. Would I cower in the background like the Kufans, or join you in quenching my thirst from the banks of Kauthar? Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Next, Brother Shaza will be reciting a salam. Please recite salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
बर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अकबर तुम्हें मालूम है क्या मान रहे हो तुम बाप से मरने की रज़ा मांग रहे हो अकबर तुम्हें मालूम है क्या मान रहे हो तुम बाप से मरने की रज़ा मांग रहे हो इस आलम गुर्बत में तुम्हें जान दूं कैसे इस दश्त मुसीबत में तुम्हें जान दूं कैसे इस वक्त कयामत में तुम्हें जान दूं कैसे ऐ लाल जो तुम इज़्ने विगा मांग रहे हो तुम बाप से मरने की रज़ा मांग रहे हो क्या गुजरेगी इस बाप के दिल पर नहीं सोचा तुमने ये मेरी जाली अकबर नहीं सोचा मर जाऊंगा मैं तुझसे बिछड़ कर नहीं सोचा तुम मुझसे ज़ईफ़ी का सामान रहे हो तुम बाप से मरने की रज़ा मांग रहे हो दिल रोता है नजरों से अगर दूर हो बेटा किस तरह जुदाई तेरी मंजूर हो बेटा तुम ही मेरी आंखें हो मेरा नूर हो बेटा मुझसे मेरी आंखों की ज़िया मांग रहे हो तुम बाप से मरने की रज़ा मांग रहे हो इस्लाम पे खुद अपना लहू रन में बहाओ सीने पे सिना शान से मैदान में खाओ तस्वीर पैगंबर की तहे खाक मिलाओ क्या इसलिए मरने की रज़ा मांग रहे हो तुम बाप से मरने की रज़ा मांग रहे हो अकबर तुम्हें मालूम है क्या मांग रहे हो तुम बाप से मरने की रज़ा मांग रहे हो बर मोहम्मद व आल मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु
Jazakallah. Now I'd like to invite Maulana Sayyid Hadi Yassin to begin the majlis. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبو القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة عليهم أجمعين من الآن إلى لقاء يوم الدين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. All together إن شاء الله. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. Alhamdulillah, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this great opportunity once again, being in the majlis of Sayyid al-Shuhada alayhi salatu wassalam. The opportunities of our lives will come in front of us, would show them to us, and would leave us, and we will miss them very, very quickly before we recognize them. Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam alayhi salatu wassalam, has a beautiful salawat, hikmah and wisdom. He said, Al-fursatu tamurru marra sahab. The opportunities in life will come in front of you and pass you as the clouds in the sky come in front of you. Before you notice, it was here, it's not there anymore. The wise people are those people who know the value of the opportunities of life in all aspects. It can be a business, it can be marriage, it can be school, and on top of all, the spiritual opportunities and fursa. The story of Imam Hussein in Karbala is a great example that shows us how some people missed their opportunities and they failed, became among the worst of people in the history of human beings, and how some people took advantage of the opportunities in life. We have a group of people who are not even in the line of Ahlul Bayt. They're not even following Ahlul Bayt. In the day of Ashura, or even before, they found the truth and they follow Sayyid al-Shuhada. Zuhair ibn Ghayn Hilali is one of the best companion of Imam Hussein in the day of Ashura. He's the one at night of Ashura when Imam Hussein, he was giving a speech and he said, leave me, you can go, leave me alone. I don't need anyone. Zuhair stood up and says, if I have 70 lives, 100 lives, they kill me, they burn me, and I'll become alive again, I still want to sacrifice myself for you, Hussein. When someone like that says something, a statement so bravely so passionately out of the belief system, you might think this person is one of the greatest Shia and the followers of Ahlul Bayt from the beginning, right? No. This person, when Imam Hussein was coming, this person is Uthmani. It was not even the lovers of Amir al-Mu'minin. It was not even the followers of Amir al-Mu'minin. When Imam Hussein, he left Mecca, they left together. So wherever he was, he had a business caravan, they were going, and Imam Hussein, he had his own caravan. So wherever he was going, he said, now that we left Mecca together, make sure our caravan would stop somewhere that it's either before the caravan of Hussein or after. I don't want to be at the same position, same location. This person, one of the greatest shuhada of Karbala, is saying that, either before or after, because I don't want to see Hussein. I don't want to be with the caravan of Muhammad Hussein. And then all of a sudden happened when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants something to happen, that they were together. These two, God, they were together. And then Imam Hussein sent a messenger, says, come to us, we're going to talk to you. He said, no. The same guy, he's one of the greatest shuhada. He says, no, I don't want to go. The Imam is calling you. No, I don't want to go. He needed a waking call. His wife was next to him and says, Zuhair, shame on you. The son of Rasulullah, he's calling you. You don't even want to go to see what he's going to tell you? Shame on you. Are you afraid? She started, awakening that sense of chivalry and Jawan Mardi in him. He started saying that, yeah, let's go. He left. Reluctantly, he left. The history is quiet. What happened here from that time to when he came back, the history is quiet. We don't know what happened. One Imam Hussein told him that when he came back, he said to his wife, everything for you, and I divorce you for the sake of Allah, because if you come with me and something happened to me, they torture you because you're my wife. So you divorce for the sake of Allah. This money, he's a businessman, he's a millionaire in Kufa. All money belongs to you. I have to go with Hussein. What happened? You didn't want to go with Hussein. Now you want to leave everything? I have to. Using the opportunities, right? Do not missing the opportunities. The camp of Sayyid al-Shuhada is a great example for taking advantages of the opportunities that are in front of us. Hur is going directly towards the hellfire. He's taking the opportunity for a second. Me and you, brothers and sisters, sitting in this majlis, we are actually in the same position. The same way that Shuhada of Karbala, each of them, they had a need, they have, haja, they have a way. They took advantage of their opportunity to be with Sayyid al-Shuhada to help themselves. They didn't go to help Imam Hussein indeed. Imam is rahmatan lil alam, is the mercy of Allah. Imam doesn't need help. Imam helps. It's a very delicate topic. Imam doesn't need help. Imam helps. How come at night of Ashura, he says, leave me alone, I don't need anyone, go. At the day of Ashura, he says, is there anyone to come and help me? That's why many ulama says, at night, you want to make sure there's no impurity among the pure ones. You want to make sure among the soldiers, there's no one that is not pure like the 72 people, right? But at the day of Ashura, he wants to make sure there's no one else left on the army of Yazid that would like to join. Imam is helping, he doesn't need help. The whole universe is under the order of Imam with the izn of Allah, with the permission of Allah, right? Using opportunities. So I'm going to ask myself, how are you going to take advantage of this opportunity that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you? How do you want to use it? The majlis of Sayyid al-Shuhada, you can change the entire of your life to be on the right path. How are you going to use it? We're talking about the topic of the modern era of ignorance, Jahiliyyah, by looking at the first Jahiliyyah, Jahiliyyat al-Ula, the first Jahiliyyah, which was what? The Arab pre-Islamic era of Jahl And we said that right after the demise of Rasulullah, when they changed the direction of Islam from where it was supposed to go to the Imamate, and people followed the Imam, they changed it towards a different direction. From then, people started moving towards the modern Jahiliyyat, the new Jahiliyyat and ignorance. Up until today, one of the biggest musibat and tragedy of the world for entire human beings is that the Imam of Ma'soom, Hujjat of Allah, is not directly in charge of the affairs of human beings. What do you mean, Mawlana? I mean this, look. Nabi Nuh is the Hujjat of Allah, right? Because people didn't follow, group of people didn't follow the Hujjat of Allah, the Adhab came, the entire region, or some people say even bigger, right? And animals, they were all wiped out from the earth. Because you're not following the Hujjat of Allah. Because finally, this world needs one leadership, and that's the leadership of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Until then, there is chaos, fight, killing, wars, betraying. All these issues happen until the end of the time that people would be desperate and say, Ya Allah, we're done. We need the wali of you, the hujjah of your representative to come and be their manager. We have the traditions. Before the zuhur of our imam, you all heard that there will be a big chaos in the world, right? Traditions are saying, listen very carefully, there will be a lot of wars and killing and betraying among people in the world. There will be a lot of contagious diseases around the world that will happen in the world. And many others. That people will be desperate. They cannot tolerate the situation of the world at all anymore. They know that their own leadership, the leadership of their rulers, are not working for them. They need the Hujjat of Allah to be the rulers. The same way that, remember it says Tariq and history repeats, the same way Bani Israel, they were waiting for the Savior to come, which mentioned many times, a couple of times. They got so desperate, Quran says, Pharaoh was killing their, women, pregnant women and children and babies and torturing them. They became the slaves, left them right their men. They became so desperate, they said, we're done, we can't. They started crying and yelling out to us. This is, Ya Allah, please send our saviors. But Allah forgive a lot of time that Musa was not supposed to come, so Musa came. The world is moving towards that direction. And we're getting so desensitized towards this, right? Well, 50 people were killed, 500 people were killed over there. This innocent child was beheaded over there, that one over there. So desensitized. We hear the lines of the news. It's like nothing. The chaos and issue. Well, the jahl and ignorance before Islam was like this. Remember we mentioned 200 years of fighting and killing, and it was so normal for them. So fine. Why? Because we said jahl means what? It's covering the aql and wisdom. The person would not think properly. We talked about it last night. I cannot distinguish between righteousness and opposite, between haq and batil. Because the measurements will be different, will be changed. Do you feel you are the Shia of Ahlul Bayt, inshallah, in the majlis of Sayyid al-Shuhada, we're crying for Sayyid al-Shuhada. Let's have, this hadith and nafs. Do you feel in yourself that you're desperate that your imam is not here? Do you feel it? If you feel it, you're amazing. Desperateness, I don't know what it is. We're done. During the corona, we got to a time where we got so desperate, remember? Everyone was so scared. I can't even come out of the house. Everything was scary. We were almost, the communities were breaking up, right? The world was like to that status. Imagine the pressure be a little bit more, but there will be more in the world for different reasons, situations. Now how the brothers and sisters Muslim in Afghanistan, how they're feeling desperate, right? How the Yemen, the children don't have even water to drink, how desperate they are. It will happen around the world, believe me. So when we look at this, we say that where the direction of the world is going, it was not supposed to be this way. Go right, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to send the last prophet, right? With all this zahmat and all he did and troubles for the sake of the direction goes, no. Some people change that direction. The way that people after Musa alayhi salatu salam, they change direction. After Prophet Isa, they change the direction and alternate the religion. Until the moment that we feel that desperateness, that we need the Imam Ma'asum to be among us. Jah, we mentioned how we can now all these topics, 8 nights we talked together about the modern Jahiliyyah, the modern era of ignorance, to recognize what condition we're living, what situation, what era we're living in. And to understand we need to do something in this condition in order to make one difference between us and community of Kufa. The only difference is this: the Imam of their time came, they stood in front of him, and they beheaded. The only difference for us should be the Imam of time will come, inshallah, and we will support him. The rest were similar. The rest, everything is similar. But how can we do? What can I do? What can I do to make sure I'm not going to be among those who would stand in front of the Imam? I need to recognize and understand the modern jahl and ignorance to be able to fight with it. Last night, we talked about this. So tonight is, inshallah, we'll try to finish this topic of what are we supposed to do in order to get rid of the jahl and ignorance. We mentioned a few things: patience, ibadah, hanging out with the scholars, with the ulama. They help you to get out of jahl and ignorance. Hang out with those friends that reminds you of your duties, your spiritual duties. Be in those environments. Get away from haram environments. Another one, what I want to talk about is that one of the characteristics of the era of ignorance before Islam was that it was full of superstitions, khurafat, full of superstitions. If you do this, this is going to happen. If you walk at night, something is going to happen. If you sit like this is going to happen. Full of lies and superstitions. This is the major characteristics of jahl and ignorance, because it's not based on wisdom and haqq. One of the most important things we have to do to purify our belief system from wrong and false beliefs and superstitions and have pure belief system. Remember that topic I said when Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu was salam, salawat. When he comes back, inshallah, in return, many people, believers, will stand in front of him and says, this is not a deen of Muhammad, this is a new deen. Remember that topic? Because we change this deen so much. We added so much into this deen. When the pure deen of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he will come, he will bring, people would not recognize it. So our responsibility is to stay with the true belief system. Get away from, that's why in the Maktab of Ahlul Bayt, there's no national borders. There are no cultures in terms of who is Irani, Pakistani, Afghani, Arabs, American. There's no borders when it comes to Maktab of Ahlul Bayt, because the first culture is culture of Ahlul Bayt and Quran. First and foremost. Whatever culture, national culture, is along with the Quran and Ahlul Bayt, perfect, let's have it. Whatever is against Quran and Ahlul Bayt, فَضْرِبُوهُ عَلَى الْجِدَارِ, trash it. Doesn't matter what nationality it is. If it's against Ahlul Bayt and Quran, throw it away. You have the hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam. He said, whatever hadith they narrate from us to you, it says, Qala Sadiq, Qala al-Baghr, Imam Baghr said, Imam Sadiq, Imam Qasim said this. Make sure you bring it and measure it with Quran. If it is along with Quran, the message is the same, accept it. If it's opposite of Quran, throw it away. We don't say anything that is opposite of Quran. So one of the most important things we have to do, Rasulullah, the first thing that he did, under Ashuratik al-Aqrabin, he warned his own family about the wrongdoings. All of us, we should have the table in front of us and throw all the belief system on the table. And on the other side should be an expert. A scholar, Moulana, someone who's expert in this. Bring my aqaid, my belief system on the table. Please look at it. How does it look like? What I need to change. Is that okay? It's not from me. This is the sunnah of Ahlul Bayt, the sunnah of the companion of Ahlul Bayt. Abdul Azim Hassani. If you go to Tehran, Iran, for ziyarah, inshallah, you go to ziyarah of Abdul Azim Hassani. He's one of the greatest Imam Zadeh and companion of Imam and faqih. Scholar. He came to Imam Hadi alayhi salatu wasalam, and he says, Ya Rasulullah, I want to tell you what I believe in. He's a faqih. He's a scholar. He's the son of Imam, the greatest. He says, I want to tell you what I believe in. What I believe in. Can you please correct my aqidah? Imam says, say it. I believe in this. I said, okay, good. Because they want to purify. Last night, I gave an example of antivirus on your system. Remember? One of the things that your antivirus does is what? Helps you to get rid of the junk files. Am I correct? You're all familiar with that? Yeah? Review your system, specifically the internet junk files that will be collected, and you don't need it. The pictures, the advertisement, something is in your system. With review it, they said these are slowing down your system. Get rid of them, remove them, trash them, right? Throughout the time, a lot of junks will come to your belief system. By purifying it, you have a pure system. The same thing that you purify your water, right? The solution to get rid of the jahl is to purify your aqeedah. Specifically when it comes to the shuhada. The first thing that you think about and you do is that, let me go and think and learn the truth about my Islam. That's why if your children, they have questions, they're criticizing, they're upset with religion. Why is it this way? Why is it this way? Amazing, sweetheart. Let's go talk about it. Let's go to one and ask him, why? Why is it this way? Don't panic. Oh my God, why they're asking this question? They're out of name. No. We're talking about a personal belief system. I don't know how many of you guys, this example I give, how many of you guys see when they are, pouring concrete to, let's say, for example, make a building, a construction. When they pour concrete, there's a big vibrators they put in, and the vibrators would shake all this grains and all these stones and pebbles, everything that is there, to make sure there's no air inside, to make sure everything is, matched together. So when it dries, there's no track in the middle. So it wouldn't break easily. We need one of this to make sure that all of us, to work on the belief system and aqidah and to purify it. Maktab of Sayyid Shadi is one of those, and unfortunately, a lot of lies and superstitions and false ideas. Oh yeah, Imam said this, Imam said that. Imam Hussein talked to Hazrat Zainab this way. Where are you saying it from? Where is it? What maktab are you talking about? What book are you saying this from? This is the amal of this. Let's do it. I went somewhere, one of the states, and in the day of Ashura, we were doing the amal. No, these amal, we have to do it. I was like, I'm not going to do it. So why? It was like, from where? Well, we do it in our culture. I'm like, I don't see it. Show it to me. I'm not going to do it the day of Ashura. Do an amal that I'm not sure. Maybe I'm making mistake, but I'm not sure. I'm not going to do it. Do it if you want to do it yourself. As a scholar, I can't lead something that I'm not sure about, right? And I'm not even saying that sometimes the enemies of Maktab Ahlul Bayt and the enemies of Islam, they will come, we have in the history, they will come, bring false beliefs and superstitions in the culture. Let years and years pass. People believe in it so much, then they will come and says, we created it. It's all false beliefs, wrong. And then imagine the next generation is like, wait a minute. It was part of the beliefs that we have. So what if the rest of the belief is the same? What if the rest is all fake like this? I think the enemies are sitting this. No, they know how to do what to do. So one is that removing the superstitions and all the, things that it might not be true, get rid of that. The second thing tonight I would say, in order to, if you don't want to get sick, don't hang out with sick people, correct? Yeah. If you don't want to have jahl and ignorance, do not hang out with ignorant people, period. It can be friend, it can be someone else. When you hang out with them, first and foremost, the behavior, when you see that affects you. The other thing is that energy that you get from them, that affects you. I don't know how many of you guys experience when sometimes you go sit with Urafa, with Maraj, and you sit next to them, just being next to them, just seeing them present in the same majlis, in the same level next to them, we feel different. We feel blessed. The presence of them. Imam Salih had a friend, he said, I heard that you are hanging out with that guy. He said, yes, Ya Rasulullah, but I'm not doing what he's doing. Imam says, well, I'm going to add it. This is from me. I don't care if you're doing it or not. This is what I'm saying. But aren't you afraid you're hanging out with him? And then what if the azab and the punishment of Allah comes to him at the time that you are staying with him? You're spending time with him. Aren't you afraid of that? And he was trying to justify it. Imam says, from tomorrow, either you hang out with me or him. Period. That was amazing. This was I've never seen like this way. Says, from tomorrow, either you're friend with me or him. You can't be in the camp of Yazid and camp of Hussein. No, it's impossible. Either one, choose. That leads me to go to the second topic of tonight. That if you want to get out of jahl and ignorance, one of the major characteristics of those who are not in jahl and ignorance is the stability in the belief system. They're so strong when it comes to the beliefs, and bravery, loyalty. Who does this? Who do this characteristics and personality remind you of? Who? About that author said very interesting. He said, when I look at the characters of Karbala, more than anyone else, I'm afraid of becoming Umar al-Sa'd. Very beautifully said. More than anyone else, I'm afraid to become Umar al-Sa'd. Why? So because one side, we have Yazid, totally savage, ignorant, barbaric person. And he has so much courage to stand in front of the Imam of the time and to be hit. On one side, we have Hussein ibn Ali sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's great in Iman, in Taqwa, in everything, and he's strong in his path. But we have someone by Umar al-Sa'd, he is hesitating until the 8th of Moharram, until tomorrow, he was not sure what he's going to do. Until the 8th of Moharram, he was looking for a way to get the money from Yazid, to be the governor of Ray, and not hurting Imam Hussein. He wanted everything together. That author says, I'm more afraid to become Umar al-Sa'd because I have no courage and bravery to be Yazid. You have to be so savage and barbaric. I don't have that much Iman to be Hussein. I'm afraid to be this guy and hesitating. Should I, maybe, this dunya, so I want this. The deen, the deen is helping me. I'm very good, mashallah. The deen, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is helping me to have my money and my house and my future and the good grades, then I love this guy. If any troubles and tragedy is going to happen to me, I'm going to have issue with you. Stability in belief system, in aqidah. Look what Quran says. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Surah Hujurat 15. إنما المؤمنون الذين آمنوا بالله ورسوله ثم لم يرتابوا وجاهدوا بأموالهم وأنفسهم في سبيل الله. Mu'mineen are those people, there is no shak, there's no doubt in their belief system. So strong. And they're ready to sacrifice themselves and their money and everything they have for the sake of Allah. I don't know, you're saying that we have to go study a lot and become very knowledgeable and then we have to go. No. Yeah, this is great if you want to do it. But I'm saying that, how much do you know? Let's say from brother, okay, get a pen and paper, write down how many percentage of knowledge you have. Let's say in Islam, 40%, 30%, 50%, 70%, 60%, 20%, whatever you have, right? Think about it, what I'm saying. How much do you think you have knowledge about Islam? What percentage out of 100% you give? Right now, think about it. I'm waiting. You don't have to tell me. Good? All good? You have a percentage in your mind, right? Sisters, you know? Yeah? Okay. How many percentage of that you're acting upon it? Those who said I have 40%, 30%. How many of this percentage you're acting upon it? You know, muharramat, halal, and haram, and this, mustahab. How many of them you're kept? Should I say usually 20, 30%, maybe more, less than that level of knowledge? Let's just work on this. Stability in belief system. Whatever you know, you'll be strong in that. First and foremost, what we said, purify it. Make sure this is purified, right? This is the true aqidah and beliefs. Then act upon that. Then act upon that. If it's 40%, for example, increase it, but stability in that. I'm asking you a question to tell you why it's so important. Among the Shuhada of Karbala, we have a Christian guy, right? He's young. Few days after he got married. Look at this. Few days after he got married. Few days after he got married, and this guy is Christian with his mother and his wife. Look, he loves Imam Hussein, he become Muslim. How much he knows about Islam now? Let's say he's 1 month or less, he became Muslim. How much he knows? Maybe less than all the Shuhada of Karbala that they're Muslim or Habib ibn Mazahir, Muslim or Sadab al-Fadl. What makes him to have the tawfiq and the opportunity to be among those Shuhada? And today, me and you, it says, Ya laytana kunna ma'akum fanafud fawqa al-Bima. We wish we were like you, Shaheed for us. What makes him? Strength in that much belief system that he had, that is bigger than all of us, maybe the beliefs that we have. Whatever he knew, he learned, he stood with it. The Imam that he saw, he stood with it. Umar Assad, he's a family of Imam Hussein. He's a cousin of Imam Hussein. He knows Imam Hussein. He knows he's the Imam Mahsoom. Ibn Muljam, he knows Amir al-Mu'mineen. He prayed behind Amir al-Mu'mineen. Him and that Christian Shaheed of Karbala, who became Muslims. Which one has a stronger? Shem, over here, you could see the athar of sujood, the sign of sajda. It was all dark because he was always in sajda. Look what they did. Whatever you know this much, act upon it. If you know this is haram, if the world comes and tell you, do it, I'm not going to do it. If you know something is wajib, if the entire universe pressure you not to do it, do it. Then you see that much knowledge and this much action that you have, if it will help you to reach salvation or not. The Shuhada of Karbala, Joan, he's the ghulam, he's the slave of Abu Dhar. He gave it to Imam Hussain. He's a slave, the lowest social rank that he has. He's an African slave. No one even in that society pay attention to him. He reaches the level that Imam al-Ma'sum comes to take his body back. What makes him reach that? Strength in belief system, in aqidah. This is the key to success. Ashab al-Kahf, you heard about them, right? The Christian guys, Ashab al-Kahf, they were under the pressure. They left, they went to the cave. What helps them? Strength. The master of this topic, brothers and sisters, is our Agha and Mawla of Al-Fadl Abbas. The one that in Karbala, we have many Shaheed, we have many Imam Zadeh, we have anyone. The only one that next to the sun, which is Sayyid al-Shuhada, is next to the sun, is shining, is Abu al-Fadl Abbas. And then the distance between this haram and that haram, we call it what? Bainul Haramain. Piece of Jannah, hadith says this haram to this haram is a piece of Jannat. Abu al-Fadl Abbas, apparently he's not among the 14 Ma'sumin. No, he's not. He's not the Imam. He's not son of Sayyid Fatima sallallahu alayhi. But he's the one. We don't have Imam Zadeh, the son of Imam, that the hadith, that the ziyarat name comes from Imam Ma'sum for him. Very rare. Another one has the Ma'sum. What the Imam Ma'sum is talking about him. Assalamu alayka ayyuha al-abdu salih. In salam of your salam, what do you say? Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin. Peace and salam to salihin, the righteous people. Imam Ma'sum in the Ziyarat of the Prophet says, Assalamu alayka ayyuha al-abdu salih. You're a righteous abd of Allah. Why you become a righteous abd salih? Al-muti'u lillahi wa li rasulihi wa li amir al-mu'minin wal hasan wa hasan. Because you're all submitted to Allah, to Rasulullah, to Amir al-Mu'minin, to Imam Hassan and Hasan. How many hadiths and riwayah and story you heard about our Father Abbas? He's all action. He's all acting upon what he is, who he is. Imam Sadiq says, Sulbul Iman. He's the backbone of Iman. About Father Abbas. Why he's the hero, the true meaning of hero. And the bravery of Abu al-Fadl Abbas. What the basirat of Ali Akbar, the intuition of him. You heard about this. Imam Hussein is on the horse before the Karbala. On the horse, he took a nap. Second, he woke up. Imam Hussein said, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Ali Akbar's horse is next to Imam Hussein. They're going together. He says, oh, father, what happened? What are you saying? He said, I just saw a dream right now. Or maybe not the dream, the truth. Yeah, that says, this Scarawan are going, and the angels of death are following them. This young man, Ashbahun Nas, Halgan wa Khulgan wa Mantagan Rasulullah, Ali Akbar, he looks like Rasulullah. He was talking like Rasulullah. His akhlaq was like Rasulullah. They asked Muawiyah one day, you know who would deserve among all Bani Hashim to be the Imam? Muawiyah says, this is Ali Akbar. Why? Because when Imam Hussein said that, he asked a question. He says, Father, I have a question. Are we on haqq? Are we following haqq? Are we on truth? We are haqq, yes? Imam says, yes, we're on the right path. He says that there's no fear of death following us. Let it follow. The measure that he has, this young man, he has a brilliant future in dunya in front of him. The measure that he has is what? Are we on haqq? Are we following haqq or not? Period. Therefore, inshallah, what we need to think more is to increase this. How many things we said tonight? Whatever you know, absolutely increase it. However, purify it first and act upon it. Increase the bravery inside you. Do not let the bigger society to humiliate you and your belief system. Do not let the society humiliate the clothing, the modest clothing that you pick for yourself. You are on the right side. You should influence the entire of the world, not the world influenced you, because you have the truth and you have the haqq. If they want to humiliate you, if they want to do it and say something, let them do it. You know the truth. You know what is right. And you will have more thawab and ajr. The more difficult, the more valuable. In this society, raise children, brothers and sisters, that they don't just like Ahlul Bayt. No. Raise children that their hearts will beat by the name of Ahlul Bayt. So passionately and strongly. We don't want a group of people, next generation, to come. We like Imam Hussein. Yeah, very good. Yeah, if there's a masjid, we go. We'll become Kufa. They like Imam Hussein. They invited Imam Hussein. We need to have that heat in our children about Imam Hussein. There are many ways, and inshallah, maybe another time we'll talk about it, how to do it for next generation. But work on that side when it comes to zikr of Imam Hussein, name of Imam Hussein, and Ahlul Bayt, to have that passion. Then they will never go astray. Never. I'll finish with this. Bravery. You want to see who's brave? Is the one who's brave in aqidah and belief system. Is the one who, when it comes to aqidah, strong. One of the very difficult masa'ib of Karbala, brothers and sisters. Very difficult for Ahlul Bayt. And very difficult to hear that musibah as well. It's the musibah of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salatu wassalam. The musibah of Ali Akbar alayhi salatu wassalam. Ali Akbar is the student of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas in war. He taught him. The narrator says when Ali Akbar was fighting in the battlefield, Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, he kept looking. He kept looking to see what is happening. You know, when a coach is there and they train someone, Abbas alayhi salatu, he's looking to see what is happening to this Ali Akbar. And only Allah knows, when they brought the body, the body of Ali Akbar that is in pieces, when they brought it back, and Abu al-Fadl Abbas, he saw that body, how he felt about it. Remember that promise we had with each other every night. You close your eyes, you meditate with Hussein, you go to Karbala, I narrate it for you. How about that, right? Empty your mind from anything else. Let's go to Karbala. One more night is night of Ashura, brothers and sisters. When they brought the body of Ali Akbar, Hussein cannot bring the body of Ali Akbar because they said erban erba. You know what that means? That means pieces and pieces. Any of the shuhada, Hussein, he brought them back himself without any help. When it comes to Ali Akbar, he said, oh, youth of Bani Hashim, come and help me. Come and help me. And Allah knows when Abu al-Fadl Abbas, he's seeing in front of him the body of Qasim is coming back, the body of Ali Akbar is coming back, the body of Shuhada and children of Sayyidina Zainab coming back in front of the eyes of Abbas. It's like an eagle, a lion that has no permission to go to the battlefield. Oh Abbas, only Allah knows what happened in your heart. When it comes to his brothers, he told them, you have to go first. I want to make sure every single one of you would sacrifice yourself for the sake of Hussein. And also maybe because he wanted to be passionate himself after all these shuhada. When everyone became shaheed, only Hussein and Abbas left on the day of Karbala. Abu al-Fadl Abbas, multiple times he came to ask for permission. Imam Hussein doesn't give permission. The last time that he came, you know why he came? They said that he saw the children of Hussein. They went to the tent. There was one tent that were hanging the water mashkan container there. When they were hanging, that some water was dripping and the ground was wet. The children were rolling their shirts. They were lying on the ground to get rid of their thirst, and they were saying, Al-Atash, Al-Atash. Abu Abbas, Al-Atash, Abbas, uncle, we want water. Sukaina, Ruqayya, children were telling each other, don't worry about Fadl Abbas, Uncle Abbas is still on the ground. Ya Allah, Hussein Jan, Sayyidi Mawla, I need to go and bring water. Well, I want to say something very difficult. For any of the shuhada, when they left, Hussein said goodbye and farewell to them. Only Abu al-Fadl Abbas, Hussein didn't say without to him. You know why? Because Abu al-Fadl was supposed to come back. He didn't even say goodbye to children of Hussein because they were waiting for Abu to come back. Hussein, some narration says, Hussein told Abu al-Fadl Abbas, whenever you go, if you reach the Furat, you're free to say Allahu Akbar Takbir, I know you're there. If you get the water, say Allahu Akbar, I know you're there. When Abbas left, Imam Hussein heard Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillah, Abbas is alive. Allahu Akbar, all of a sudden Hussein heard nothing from Abbas until the moment that he said, Ya Akha, Adrik Akha, oh brother, come and help him. Hussein knows Abbas is done. Why? Because he never called Hussein, oh brother. He was always saying, oh my master. When he said, oh brother, that means it's the last moment of Abbas. Oh Allah. Oh, Abbas John, if you saw Ali Akbar like that on the ground, Erban Erba. Now that body of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas is Erban Erba. Hussein came, he got the head of you're picturing what I'm saying. Ya Allah, close your eyes, go to Karbala next to Hussein, Imam Hussein and Abu al-Fadl Abbas. When they saw Ban al-Inkisar fi wajh al-Hussein, they saw when Hussein were coming, he grabbed his back. He couldn't walk properly when he saw Abbas on the ground. When he got to Abbas, he said, Al-an inkasar al-dhahri, my back is broken, Abbas. I don't know what else to do. You know what? It's very important when he grabbed the head of Abbas on his lap. He's talking to Abbas. He saw Abbas is so, upset, and some narrations is crying. Abbas, what happened? He said, Hussein, now that I'm on the ground, you came and you picked my head. Who is going to pick your head after Sa'atan, after a few hours from now? Who is going to come and help you, Hussein? Abbas, don't worry, Shebr Mal'un is there to come and pick the head of Hussein. Ya Allah, they said any of the shuhada, Hussein spent some times with them when they became shaheed on the ground. But with Abu al-Fadl Abbas, he quickly came back. You know why? Because before he was sure Abbas is there to protect the khiyam and children. But when Abbas is on the ground, there's no one to protect the khiyam. The children, when they saw Baba is coming back without Abu, they were telling each other, no, Abu is not coming back anymore. They saw Hussein. He's is maybe holding his back the way that Baba is coming back. Definitely Abu is not coming back. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah wa ala al-arwah allati hallat bifna'ik. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بغيت وبغي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله غير الأهد مني لزيارته. Wherever you are sitting, Bismillah, one night before Ashura. Assalamu alaykum. Raise your voice, Bismillah, don't be shy. Wa ala وعلى أولاد الحسين. This is not the voice of the 8th of Moharram, brothers and sisters. One more time out loud, have your hajat. Bismillah, assalamu, mashallah, wa ala Ali. لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب. اللهم صل على محمد عبد الحسين. يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. Hasten the ظهور of our Imam Mahdi. Ya Allah Ya Rahman Ya Rahim, do not let anyone from our generation please the path of it. بحق علي أكبر يا Allah, help our youth in dunya wal akhirah. بحق علي أكبر يا Allah, remove the obstacles towards the marriage of our youth. Ya Allah Ya Rahman Ya Rahim, those brothers and sisters who have hajat and requests, بحق Muhammad wa Muhammad, give them khair hajat. Ya Allah Ya Rahman, and those who are under difficulties, provide opportunities for their freedom. Remove these pandemic conditions from the entire of the world, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim, those who are sick, Muhammad wa Muhammad, cure them, and those who passed away, send the thabab and fault from our gathering to the soul, inshallah. رحم الله من يقرأ الفاتحة مع الصلوات.
Ya Hussein, 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 Hussein, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla, 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 Hussein, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla, Hussein, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla, everyone. Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla, Hussein, Ya Mawla. Thirsty Ruqayya Hussein, thirsty Abdullah Hussein, we just need water. Father, some water. Where's your flag bearer? Hussein, where's your flag bearer? Son of Fatima, son of Fatima. Hussein, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla. Hussein, Ya Mawla. Hussein, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla. Hussein's all alone. Shah Qasim has gone. Ali Akbar is gone. Abu Fadil's gone. Even Abdullah Hussein, even Abdullah Hussein. Hussein wa wayla. Hussein wa wayla. Hussein, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla. Hussein, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla. Zainab cries, Allah, where's Abu Abdullah? Where's Ali Akbar? Where is Abdullah? Where's my alamdar? Where's my flag bearer? Where is my protector? Where is my Abbas? Abbas flag bearer, flag bearer, flag bearer. Abbas flag bearer, flag bearer, flag bearer. Abbas flag bearer, flag bearer. Abbas flag bearer. Zainab cries Allah. Where's Abu Abdullah? Where's Ali Akbar? Where is Abdullah? Where's my alamdar? Where's my flag bearer? Where's my protector? Where is my Abbas? Abbas flag bearer, flag bearer, flag bearer. Abbas flag bearer, flag bearer, flag bearer. Now the tent's on fire, shackled Ruqayya. Zainab, have you seen? Zainul Abidin, ill and locked in chains. Zahra cries in pain, my Hussein is slain. Where is my Hussein? Hussein, ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Hussein, ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Hussein, ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Hussein, ya Mawla. Your head on a spear, my eyes filled with tears. Your body trampled. Why were they so cruel? And it still hurts me, Hussein, and it still hurts me that you died thirsty, that you died thirsty. Hussein, ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Hussein, ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Hussein, ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Hussein, ya Mawla. Zahra cries Hussein, Zainab cries Hussein, my tears cry Hussein, my heart cries Hussein. Hussein cries out last, Hussein cries out last. Where is my Abbas? Where is my Abbas? Abbas flag bearer, flag bearer, flag bearer. Abbas flag bearer, flag bearer, flag bearer. Children cry in thirst. Where is my Abbas? Abbas cries in pain. Children, I've been slain. I can't bring water. I can't bring water. For you, Sakina. For you, Sakina. Abbas flag bearer, flag bearer, flag bearer. Everyone, Abbas flag bearer, flag bearer, flag bearer. Abbas flag bearer. Abbas flag bearer, flag bearer. Cries of Alatash, but I am Abbas. I will bring water for Hussein's daughter, but they've ambushed me, Hussein, but they've ambushed me. Hussein, master, forgive me. Hussein, master, forgive me. Hussein, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Hussein, ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Hussein, ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. He won't quench his thirst, for Hussein comes first. With his arms cut off, still won't taste a drop. Blinded by arrow, blinded by arrow. I cry in sorrow, I cry in sorrow. Abbas flag bearer, flag bearer, flag bearer. Abbas flag bearer. Abbas flag bearer, flag bearer, flag bearer. Saviors of Islam, I send my salam upon you, Master. When I drink water, all my love for you and my life for you, I will beat my chest. I will never rest. I will give my life. Hussein, I will sacrifice in my life always. Your flag is raised high. Hussein, ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. 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 Abbas flag bearer, flag bearer, flag bearer. Abbas flag bearer, flag bearer, flag bearer. Hussein, ya Mawla, ya Mawla, ya Mawla. Hussein, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليك أيها الحسن المجتبى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليكم مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. السلام على 9 المعصومين من ذرية الحسين. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان. الأمان 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 من فتن الزمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان. عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك ورحمة الله وبركاته.